Let's get it. Congress met with many crypto CEOs and higher-ups the other day, and the markets have not reflected that sentiment very accurately. My take on the Congress hearings was that they were actually very bullish and beneficial for crypto long term. However, the price action has not shown that. Today we will be doing a quick market update and a quick brief recap of what went on in those hearings at Congress. I will then finish up with a quick update on how my staking is going with VVS Finance, Chronoswap, and Jade Protocol. So let's go. What is up, everybody, and welcome to the Crypto Cabin. My name is Tom, and in today's video, like I said, we are going to be covering the Congress meetings and how they went, a quick Bitcoin market update, as well as my staking progress. If you're new to this channel, please scroll on down, give this video a thumbs up, and then hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell so you get notified for when I post these new videos. Let's try to get this account to 1,000 subscribers by the new year. We've been climbing up over the last couple weeks, which is amazing. Thank you so much. Let's see if we can get to that number. So let's get right into it. Congress, like I said, had a meeting yesterday with some crypto higher-ups from 6 different crypto companies. So this is where you could come and find it, basically on Reuters or CNBC. I know there's a lot of different places that do have it, but I will put a link to this whole thing in the description below. I was not able to watch the entire thing, but there is obviously replays that have been posted to YouTube since then. The whole thing is 5 hours long, so I will be chipping away at this as I can. But in general, the brief summary was that they are definitely willing to listen and to work with many cryptocurrency companies in order to, learn as much as they can about this new technology and how it can actually help America move forward. And everybody's got their eyes focused on America, but a lot of other companies have already said that this technology can be used for many good things, and they are embracing it and rolling with it. And America, I think the United States, is finding that they are quite a bit behind on this in this regard. So they're wanting to get on track and get moving forward with this, which sounded like the gist of what everything they were talking about. So I do think moving forward there will be regulation in the space, but that in the past has actually been very, very bullish for quite a few sectors. First of all, you can check out the car sector and also cannabis sector. Go take a look at those two industries after they started being regulated and take a look at the growth they've had since regulation came in. It was actually a pretty good thing and way less risk to the people that were, either operating those vehicles or way less risk to the people that were using cannabis. In the same way, it could happen here with cryptocurrency. There are likely going to be way less meme coins or crap coins that come onto the market with no utility and are just pump and dumps. There will need to be a more rigorous process in order to launch a coin, but that usually would mean that most of them, in my opinion, will have some sort of utility and will, provide some sort of value to the world. So I'm not sure when all this regulation is going to come into play, but I do think for the next little while we might be okay, but in the future we will definitely be needing to look for those cryptocurrencies that have gone through all of the regulatory processes, specifically those that have registered with the SEC, or at least that'll be, one major check mark for that project. So you can go ahead and take a look at this whole meeting, which was, like I said, very, very long. There are a couple funny parts in there, but a lot of really, really great insight. And the cryptocurrency experts that were on this panel had a lot of very, very awesome things to say. I think even some stuff about how cryptocurrency can help solidify the US dollar as the world reserve currency, which a lot of people were thinking that's exactly what's cryptocurrency is going to go the opposite, but they made an argument that it could. If they want the US dollar to remain the world reserve currency, they could keep it that way if they wanted to, because a lot of stable coins are now pegged to the US dollar. Very, very interesting stuff, and lots of things that I don't think a lot of these people realized how complicated maybe the current banking system is and how quickly cryptocurrency can solve a lot of those. So very, very interesting stuff. Highly recommend taking a look at this or finding some snippets from it on other crypto YouTubers' channels. TikTok had a lot of really good snippets from it as well. So take a look. Just in general though, the general consensus from my opinion is that this is long-term bullish for the cryptocurrency markets. Short term, however, we did not see that. So on today's candle, we're on the weekly here, But on the daily candle, we have had a bit of a dip since yesterday. I believe this is about, well, it's more than I thought. I thought it was only about 4%. We're at about a 6% dip on the day, which obviously does not reflect what was happening yesterday. So still quite a bit of uncertainty going on in these markets with the new variant, obviously, that's going around. We are still in this yellow support box. We did break down, obviously, from my purple support box down into the yellow support box. We are still above the 200-day moving average. And when we go over to the weekly, we are also still above the 50-week EMA. So those are a couple very important levels that we will need to hold. When you look at the Bitcoin chart over the last few years, anytime we are remaining above the 200-day EMA, we have been very bullish. And when we cross under that 200-day EMA, we obviously go quite bearish. Not necessarily for a super, super long period of time, but typically when we look back at 2017, when we broke below the 200-day moving average, we were definitely in a bear market at that point in time. And scrolling all the way back, you can see throughout the rest of the bull market of 2016 leading into 2017, we stayed up above the 200-day moving average. We did wick into it a couple times, but we got a good bounce off of it typically. And then moving all the way back to 2013, 2014, same thing. We stayed above it, wicked into it a couple of times, but we have held that. Once we broke below it, we were in bear market territory for a little while. So that to me is a very crucial level. Also the 50-week EMA as well, like I said, which is this orange line, which is kind of hard to see, but it's that orange line right there, and that is currently sitting at, if we scroll over here, that is sitting at 44,500. The 200-day moving average is sitting at about 46,400. So we got a big area of support in here. These two levels, like I mentioned as well, are also holding as support. The 200-day moving average is still moving upwards, so we will need to see if we are able to hold this zone here. A lot of people were talking about this trend line before, this blue trend line, which goes all the way back to March of 2020. And I was been talking about this blue line as well. I have not moved anything on this chart of mine for quite a long time, but I've seen people still being able to connect this trend line to multiple different points. So what that would look like is if we did move this up to kind of just below the candle close there, or the candle open, and then we drag it down to here, we could see that we touched on the wick back there, we touched down here, and right now we are still holding. We wicked below, but we are still holding this trend line. And so this is what a lot of people are talking about, that if we break down below here, they figure that we could go into a downward spiral. I don't think that is the case just yet, because we still have these other levels at the 50-week EMA and the 200-day moving average, like I said, that we are still holding. And when you keep zooming out again, if you go on a closing basis, we are still making higher lows here, right? So we have not flipped bearish long term, in my opinion, until we break down below, or close below, a weekly close below $43,000-ish. If we look at the total cryptocurrency market cap, we are seeing much of the same thing. We've got these higher lows coming in here as well. If we count this low here, that low there, and that low there, we are making higher lows and still higher highs since back here. So we do have that going for us. We can see this wick came off of the 200-day moving average for the cryptocurrency market cap as a whole, which could be a bullish bounce. We will need to obviously wait and see what happens. This cup and handle pattern is not playing out the way that we expected it to. Typically, cup and handle patterns are very bullish and quite reliable, one of the most reliable patterns out there, but it has not played out so far. Drawing a trend line for the entire cryptocurrency market cap is a little bit trickier. but we can see that we are still more or less holding this trend line. Not as many, touch points. I guess it's very, very close. That one is almost touching there. But we are very similar for Bitcoin as we are with the entire cryptocurrency market, in that still making higher lows and slightly higher highs, obviously. But we will need to wait and see what happens over here in the next little while. Like I said, breaking down below the 200-day moving average is not usually a great sign. All right, let's take a quick look at how it is going with VVS Finance, Swap, and Jade Protocol. So with VVS Finance, I forget what I think it was right around $300 when I put it in last time. So this is basically just the price of the token going down, but I have gained almost 57,000, roughly $6 since I started this, which is about 5 days ago. Swap is very, very similar. So I have about the same amount that I put in, but at 6.845 krona in profit, so that's roughly $8. I mean, nothing major, nothing significant off of a smaller amount invested, but hopefully the compounding effect over time will yield some better results as well. When we take a quick look at Jade Protocol, we can see that I've gone up. I started with 0.313. I'm now up to about 0.4, which, I mean, seems like decent profits already. That's like, 30 some percent. But the price of the coin has been fluctuating a lot. Like, it was down quite a bit since I started, and then just the other day, yesterday I think, or the day before, it pumped up 50 to 70%. So in total, I think I put about $150 into this one. I am up a little bit on this. The APY has also come down quite a bit. When I started staking, I believe it was up at around 2 billion% APY. We are now at 443 million% APY, which is still super, super high. Like I've said before, usually as more people start getting involved in these things, the percent APY goes down, which everybody may be calling a Ponzi scheme. I'm not making anything off of anybody that joins these things. The percent APY actually goes down with the more people that invest in these. So yeah, it's basically just something that I'm using to have a little bit of fun with, see if I can earn a little bit of extra passive income. These are projects that I don't think I'm going to be involved in staking for a super long term, maybe VVS Finance, but Jade Protocol and Swap, I'm not intending to be holding long term, intending to try to gain a little bit of extra cash, pull it out, and then reinvest that into other more secure projects for some of them. And then some of the profit that I take, I may look for other projects that have a really high APY as well, and then play with those for a little while, take it out. That's kind of where I started with Guitar Swap. That had over 5,000% APY, I think, at the start. Had got some profits from those, rolled them over into VVS and Swap and Jade Protocol. I was able to disperse it fairly evenly between the three, and then now we are seeing how these ones do. So I potentially could roll those profits over into another protocol like this, or just use it to add to my bags of the coins and projects that I really like. So that is it for today, team. Thank you so much for watching. If you got some value out of this video, or if you're new to the channel and haven't done so already, please scroll on down, hit the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and hit the notification bell and select all so you get notified for when I post these new videos. Appreciate each and every single one of you, and I will see you next time on the next episode from the Crypto Cabin.